Hey everybody, I'm Zach, this is Judy, and welcome to our channel. Okay everybody, so today, before we get started, I know you all have a lot of questions for Judy, and I just want to say, Judy, do you have anything that you want your audience to know?
Anthony Lawrence from Even Stevens, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Okay, but you're gonna draw it right away.
Oh, okay.
Okay then. Okay. All right. Well, for today's video, I just thought, since I did a whole video about Morgan Adams and her speaking on Shane Dawson, I felt like it was only appropriate that I also do a video addressing Shane's betrothed Justin Bieber lookalike fiance, Ryland Adams, discussing his love for Shane Dawson, his defense of Shane Dawson, his stand by my man, Shane Dawson. And now listen, I will give the same disclaimer that I gave for Morgan, which is I get that Ryland has an established romantic relationship with this man. He has put many years into this man. I had no doubts that Ryland was going to stand by his man. I get it, all right? Was that Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette? One of those old country divas is his anthem right now. Stand by my man. I get it. I get it, okay? But I do think that there are some good things that we could talk about here, some things that we can address for moving forward, some things that I would like to challenge at least a little bit. And I think it's only fair that we have this discussion on my channel since I already talked about Morgan. And I mean, like, this is a whole parade, a whole PR parade of people that started with Grand Marshal Trisha Paytas months ago when she was the only one out here saying anything in defense of Shane Dawson. Then you slowly had the trickle of the sad parade float that Jeffree Star came in on, and now we're finally getting close to the climax with the Addams siblings coming in, batting 100. I don't know, did I just try to use a sports analogy? Doing whatever they can for their man Shane Dawson, okay? So this PR parade is coming to an end, and hopefully it's gonna end soon, okay? Because the PR from all of these different people, for me personally, doesn't mean a whole lot unless it results in like Shane being a different person. But that feels like it's all jumping ahead a little bit, so let's talk just strictly about this video that Ryland put out. So the video overall was 20 minutes long. I don't remember the title off my head, and I don't have it right in front of me, but you know me, I'll pop up a little thumbnail over here so you know where to find it. I'll link it down below so you know where to find it. The whole video was mostly supposed to be about him going on this meditation journey for wellness, etc., which honestly, truly love that as a concept. I support people participating in meditation, prayer, yoga, journaling. I personally do some journaling myself to take care of my mental health and well-being, so I love to see that Ryland is promoting all of that as a concept, okay? So don't get me wrong, I did watch that whole video and enjoyed that aspect of it, and I'm glad that he's promoting that and encouraging others to join him in, doing some self-reflection and things like that. I also want to give him kudos for not waiting until the very end of the video to post his little statement about Shane. I think it's much better to just like come out and say it right away, because let's be honest, most people, when they came back to his channel, when they saw he posted a new video, I think he posted it while I was live streaming on my Twitch, which, by the way, go follow down below. I think he posted during my Twitch, and my first thought was, when people were commenting in my chat stream, my first thought was, y'all, did he address the Shane stuff? Is this worth watching? So, everybody wanted to know that, and I'm glad he just put it at the beginning and then gave people the option of deciding if they wanted to sit through his 20-minute long meditation vlog. So he starts off almost immediately by talking about why he didn't address the old clips from Shane much earlier.
Hello, I wanted to jump on before I started posting videos again to acknowledge what's been going on with Shane and Shane's past. And I didn't initially jump in and insert myself because I didn't want to add to the intense negativity that was circulating about all of these old clips. And I wanted to process and think for myself. And I know I didn't do that in the beauty community drama, but I feel that's because I was kind of there for the whole experience, whereas with Shane's past, I've been with Shane for 4 years, and a lot of these clips date 7, 8 to 10 years ago. And I understand that Shane's made highly insensitive and offensive jokes, and I know that while they were far in his past, it's hard to separate that person from who he is today, especially when you're seeing them in real time and your feelings are being hurt right now.
What I think is interesting about that is, for me, I get what his reasoning for why he jumped in on the beauty guru drama was. I mean, he was present for those things. I imagine that he was in the room where it happened. I assume that he was privy to all of those things. And obviously, he wasn't around when some of these videos with Shane were being made. Okay. We'll stick with that right now. I mean, we can discuss a little bit later in this video about how, like, Shane has been making some problematic videos even in recent years, okay? But let's stick with this concept that, you know, Ryland wasn't around for all of that happened in the past. I still think that it's either or. Like, I don't think that you have to put out a statement right away. I'm not somebody that is like out here expecting people to have an opinion right away, or at least that's like my current perspective. I guess maybe in all of my span of time on YouTube, I haven't always felt that way. But you know, I'm somebody who just recently took a whole ass month off of YouTube, did some reflecting, came back with a clear frame of mind, and have now proceeded to continue on with YouTube, right? So, you know, where I'm currently as, I definitely don't think that Ryland or anybody was obligated to come out and say something right away. But I want you to keep the same energy, okay, when you are addressing the beauty guru drama, right? Like, you can not speak from a place of reactiveness just in the same way that you didn't speak about all the old clips from Shane. And I think, honestly, nobody would have faulted you for just saying nothing in that moment either, right? And so for me, I think that was a little weird. I think that he honestly also didn't really take any kind of real responsibility for the like very aggressive tweets that he made and his participation in that live stream. Now, I will say that in general, he alludes in this video that part of the reason he's going on this meditation journey is because he needs to work on his anger response to things and why he lets other people get him angry. And I do appreciate that as like a specific example of engaging in growth and learning and in education and those kinds of things. So I just wish that he would have been more explicit and said, hey, I definitely tweeted these things out of a place of anger. I definitely participated in things from a place of anger when I thrusted myself into the beauty guru drama. And that's not something I should have done. And now I'm working on, like, why was it my gut reaction to react that way? But really, I mean, his participation in this is neither here nor there. The majority of this little intro to this video seemed to be focused on us really giving Shane the benefit of the doubt that he has grown and changed, and that we have seen this over the past 4 to 5 years while he's been in a relationship with Ryland.
At some point, I hope we can champion change and growth over canceling someone altogether or going for the absolute worst on the internet. And I say this because I know that Shane has had to address his past more than most people probably in the world, because every few years it comes back up to ruin him, to cancel him, and it's forced him to look into what he did, its impact, how it made people feel, and really truly grow from that. And I think if you've been watching Shane for a long time, you've experienced his growth and you know that he is a genuine person with good intentions. When I met Shane, he was still doing 5 videos a week where the premise was comedy based around building cakes out of Hostess products. And since then, he's flipped completely into more of documentaries on YouTube. And in that time, he's doubled his subscribers, which I do think came as a result of him living out his healthier, more authentic self. And I know a lot of people in present day have an issue with some of the people that he chose to give a platform. And to that, I would say that everyone has something in their past they're not proud of. But I don't think that that takes away from the incredible content that he has put out over the years.
Now, I'm a fan of championing the idea of people being able to grow and having hope for people. I think that that's really important. I'm not a big fan of the concept of cancel culture because I think to some extent we have to keep engaging with folks and help them learn. I will speak for myself that I do not consider myself a perfect person. I don't think that I'm the same person now that I was when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, etc. Right? So I do believe that people should be given the opportunity to grow and change. I just want to make that clear to start with. But this concept that we need to trust that Shane has grown because we've allegedly seen this happen over the course of his channel. You know, like I also have seen these videos where he was making all the weird foods and eating all the weird foods. And the documentary style of his YouTube videos is definitely like a game changer in terms of the way that he was producing content. And I do think that, you know, in terms of like what kind of content creator he is, he definitely grew and changed. Now, in terms of being able to use that as some sign of his character or his judgment or his moral behavior, I don't think that that's fair for us to say because honestly, a lot of his videos haven't showcased what he does in his day-to-day life, right? At most, we get little tiny pockets of it within a documentary. And who's to say that Shane isn't being one person on camera that is different than who he is off camera? The other reason I have a really hard time getting behind this idea that he has grown and changed and learned after all of this and that I should just trust that because that's what we've seen on his channel is that Instagram live stream is very, very, very different than this like sweet empath version of Shane Dawson that he's wanted us to believe and the character that he's developed on his channel. And I say character because truly, like at the end of the day, this is what he's presented us. It could be him. I would like to believe that's him. But honestly, who's to say that he is that person off camera outside of these people that are his best friends and stand to benefit from people not canceling them in association with him, okay? Not to say that we should cancel Ryland or Morgan. That's not what I'm saying. So don't interpret it that way. But I'm just saying like they obviously stand to profit off of a continued relationship with him. Now, a lot of people seem to, well, not a lot. There were a handful of people in the comments of my Morgan video who said that they felt like the Instagram live stream was a justified reaction. And I want to move away from us trying to determine whether or not that Instagram reaction was justified or not, or whether or not it was okay for people to react like that, and just focus on the fact that this is a completely different Shane Dawson than what he has led us to believe actually exists in real life, okay? So his YouTube channel does not include him dropping F-bombs, yelling, and doing all that, okay? It just doesn't. And that's what makes it hard for me to have trust in what he is or isn't off camera. And all of that to say is that, you know, Ryland and probably Morgan and really probably Shane want us to believe that this like documentary Shane Dawson new changed human has put out completely unproblematic content in this documentary style, and that is just not true. A lot of you commented on my last video of like, oh, have you seen D'Angelo Wallace's video? Have you seen that? Like, it's so good. You should go watch it. And by this point, I'm assuming most of you have seen it, but if you haven't, I'll link it down below. And he goes over a lot of the problematic things about some of Shane's more recent videos and why they're also not great. They're good in terms of them not being about like racism or like children or things like that, but like not great in a lot of other ways. So if you haven't seen his video, go check that out. And in addition to that, I have a video that I made in December. It's one of the only Shane Dawson videos I've ever made on my channel. And I highlight how he included people who were being blatantly racist and homophobic in his video because they bought his merch, right? The thing about that is that the clip that they pulled the clips from for their video, for their documentary, for the palette. In that video where they pulled the clips from, these people are saying problematic homophobic things, right? So it's hard to say that they didn't know that those things were going on. So all of that to say, I'm honestly, truly, I'm not trying to cancel anybody. To be quite honest, I'm not a person of color, I'm not a child, I'm not the parent of a child. So in my opinion, it's not really my place to cancel anybody. It's also not my place to say, you know, what would be an acceptable apology, what would be acceptable behavior or action from Shane moving forward. Like I said, I agree with the concept that Ryland was trying to say, which is that we all can grow, we all can change, we all can make improvements on our lives. And I really do hope that that's what happens for Shane. Ultimately, like I said, though, in the video I made about Morgan's comments, is that Shane is going to have to come on camera and prove this himself, right? This never-ending PR parade that's going on is not enough, in my opinion, to really change anybody's minds. Like, nobody's expecting Morgan, nobody's expecting Ryland to come out here and say anything bad about Shane. And I also don't think anybody's incredibly moved by their thoughts on this. I respect that they are at least making statements, that they are trying to move forward. Love that for them. But I also don't think that it's that pivotal in a lot of people's minds about what their thoughts are on Shane Dawson. The people who were already on Team Shane Dawson are going to continue to be on Team Shane Dawson. And I think a lot of the people that found all of his behavior in 2020 to be a mess are going to continue to think that his behavior has been a mess. I also want to say that I believe that everybody can and should take time away, and, you know, however long it takes Shane to decide to come back to YouTube, make content, or to not, I think is okay for him to do that. Like, he totally deserves that. Again, I literally just took a month off from YouTube myself, and it was one of the best things I've done for myself in recent history when it comes to taking care of my own mental health. So I hope that he's doing that. I hope that he is finding some level of peace, of reflection, of self-awareness. But ultimately, if he wants us to believe that he's doing something about all of this and that he has grown or he's learned or he has changed, then he's going to have to do the work, and he's going to have to find some way to demonstrate that on his YouTube channel. I think he could potentially even take some cues from Ryland. You know, I think it's really a good idea on Ryland's end that he came back with this video that was all about him doing self-reflection and looking at, you know, where he's come from and how far he's come. And I think that some level of self-reflection like that for Shane, that was genuine and authentic to who he is, could be really great for his channel. I'm not an expert. I'm not a PR expert by any means. I'm just not a fan of PR parades. So maybe parades in general, let's be honest. But That is what I think that Shane's gonna have to do in order to really come back and make a significant like rebound on what's going on here. And to some extent, some people are gonna be over him just forever, period. That's it. And I think that he's gonna have to find some peace with that as well. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it and found it to be entertaining, fun, delightful, joyful. I hope you lived, I hope you laughed, I hope you loved. If you enjoyed this video and it's your first time watching my channel, please make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell button so you get notifications, leave me some comments, hit like, it helps with the algorithm, and follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun with you all today, I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!